Hi everyone, this is Donnie Lowy from Closeoutexplosion.com. I hope you're doing well today. I'd like to give you some tips on the type of wholesale clothing that you can sell at flea markets. So you have to understand that a customer who's going to the flea market is looking for a really good deal. If they wanted to pay the full retail price or even close to the full retail price, they would simply go to a store. And now, especially with the internet, there's some really good discounted deals which they could find online. Many brands have their own websites and they have their own clearance sections. So if a customer is going to come to buy at a flea market, the customer wants a really good deal. Now, in order to get that really good deal, you should specialize in closeout and overstock merchandise. That way you're going to be able to get brand name merchandise at a very low price because it's going to be from a previous season, or it's going to be merchandise which is being closed out by a wholesaler, by a retailer, or by a manufacturer, or by the brand themselves. You'll be able to buy that merchandise at below the wholesale price, and this way you can sell the merchandise at the flea market at the wholesale price and still make money. Now, another great clothing item for the flea market is any item which is an impulse item, meaning an item which the customer will buy simply because they're at the flea market, they see the item, they like it, and it can't be and it shouldn't be an expensive item in order for it to be an impulse item. For example, a customer goes to the flea market because they are looking for a really good deal on tools, or they're going to the flea market because they're looking for a really good deal on dresses. They walk by your booth and they see that you have a really good price on socks. It doesn't have to be an exceptionally good price, but it's a decent enough price that they say, you know what, I can always use extra socks in my house. Let me just pick up those socks, and then you could sell the socks and make money that way. So clothing which is appropriate for the flea market should either be brand name clothing, which you're buying at a really good below wholesale price. You're welcome to come to my warehouse. I sell wholesale clothing which is brand name at below the wholesale price and at closeout prices, or it should be impulse related items. Maybe it's a cold day outside and people weren't expecting it to be so cold, and you sell sweaters and sweatshirts at a really low price. Or let's say you went to an auction and there's a store that went out of business and you bought up merchandise from that store, and now you could go to the flea market and just sell the clothing at a really low price. I've also seen people selling used clothing at the flea markets. There's definitely money to be made in that as well, but you have to know if your customers are looking for new or used clothing. And what I would recommend is, before you buy any wholesale clothing for the flea market, go to the flea market yourself, see who is selling what, see who seems to be successful, what the customers are actually buying, and that'll give you, a good amount of information which you can use then to stock your own flea market business. Hope you enjoyed this video. You're welcome to visit my warehouse. My website is closeoutexplosion.com. Have a great